Om Sai Ram, Om Sai Ram, Om Sai Ram. Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj ki Jai. Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sai Karnananda Maharaj ki Jai. Sri Sachidananda Jagat Guru Bal Yogiraj Sai Narayan Maharaj ki Jai. Sri Sai Leelavati Mata ki Jai. Sri Sai Satcharitra Chapter 2. Object of writing the work, incapacity and boldness in the undertaking. Hot discussion conferring significant and prophetic title of Himarpant. Necessity of Guru. In the last chapter, the author mentioned in the original Marathi book that he would state the reason that led him to undertake the work and about the persons qualified to read the same, and such other points. Now, in this chapter, he starts to tell the same. Object of writing the work. In the first chapter, I described Sai Baba's miracle of checking and destroying the cholera epidemic by grinding wheat and throwing the flour on the outskirts of the village. I heard other miracles of Sai Baba to my great delight, and this delight burst forth into the poetic work. I also thought that the description of these miracles of Sai Baba would be interesting and instructive to his devotees and would remove their sins, and so I began to write the sacred life and teachings of Sai Baba. The life of the saint is neither logical nor dialectical. It shows us the true and the great path, and capacity and boldness in undertaking the work. Himarpan thought that he was not a fit person to undertake the work. He said, "When I do not know the life of my intimate friend, nor do I know my own mind, then how can I write the life of the saint or describe the nature of the incarnations, which even the Vedas were unable to do? One must be a saint himself before he could know other saints. Otherwise, how can I describe their glory? To write the life of the saint is the most difficult, though one may as well be able to measure the depth of the water of the seven seas or enclose the sky with cloth trappings. I knew that this was the most venturous undertaking which might expose me to ridicule. I, therefore, invoked Sai Baba's grace. The premier poet, Sant of Maharashtra, Sri Dhaneshwar Maharaj, has stated that the Lord loves those who write the lives of the saint, and the saints also have their own peculiar method of assigning the work. Assigning the service, which the devotees long for. The saints inspire the work. The devotee becomes only an indirect cause of an instrument to achieve the end. For instance, in 1700 Shaka year, the poet Mahipati are inspired to write the lives of saints. Saints inspired him and got the work done. So also in 1800 Shaka year 2, Das Ganu service was accepted. The former wrote four works: Bhakta Vijaya, Sant Vijaya, Bhakta Lilamrit, and Santa Lilamrit, while the latter wrote two, Bhakta Lilamrit and Santa Kathamrit, in which the lives of the modern saints were described in chapter 31, 32, and 33 of Bhakta Lilamrit, and in chapter 57 of Santa Kathamrit, the life and the teachings of Sai Baba are well depicted. These has been separately published in Sai Leela magazine numbers 2 and 12, volume number 17. The readers are advised to read these chapters, so also Sai Baba's wonderful Leelas are described by Mrs. Savitri Bai Raghunath Tendulkar of Bandra in the small book named Sri Sainath Bhajan Mala. Das Guru Maharaj also has composed various sweet poems of Sai Baba. A devotee named Amidas Bhavani Mehta has also published some stories of the Sai Baba in Gujarati. some numbers of Sai Baba Prabha, a magazine published by Dakshina Bhiksha Sanstha of Shirdi are also published. Then the question of objection comes in that while so many works regarding Sai Baba are extant, why should this Sai Chitra be written? And where is its necessity? The answer is plain and simple. The life of the Sai Baba is as wide, as deep as the infinite ocean, and all can dive deep into the same and take out the precious gems of knowledge and bhakti, and they distribute them to the aspiring people. The stories, parables, and the teachings of Sai Baba are very wonderful. They were they will give peace and happiness to the people who are afflicted with sorrows and the heavily loaded with the miseries of the worldly existence, and also bestow knowledge and wisdom both in the worldly and spiritual domains. If these teachings of Sai Baba, which are as interesting and instructive as the Vedic lore, are listened to and meditated upon, the devotees will get what they long for, as union with Brahma, mastery in Eightfold Yoga, bliss of meditation, etc. So I thought that I should call these stories together. That would be my best upasana. This collection would be most delightful to those simple souls whose eyes were not blessed with Sai Baba's darshan. So I set about collecting Sai Baba's teachings and expressions, the outcome of the boundless self-realization. It was Sai Baba who inspired me in this matter. In fact, I surrendered my ego at his feet, and I thought that my path was clear, and that he would make me quite happy here and the next world. I could myself ask Sai Baba to give me permission for this work. So I requested Mr. Madhavrao Deshpande LS Shama, Baba's most intimate devotee, to speak to him for me. He pleaded for my cause and said to Sai Baba, "This Anas wishes to write your biography. Don't say that you are a poor fakir and there is no necessity to write it. But if you are agree and help him, he will write, or rather, your grace will accomplish the work. Without your consent and blessing, nothing can be done successfully." When Sai Baba heard this request, he was moved and blessed me by giving me his Udi Sagidash, and placing his boon bestow hand on had said, "Let him make collection of stories and experiences, keeps notes and memos. I will help him. He's only an outward instrument. I should write my autobiography myself and satisfy the wishes of my devotees. He should get rid of his ego, surrender it to my feet. He who acts like this in life, him I help the most. What of my life stories? I serve him in the house in all possible ways. When his ego is completely annihilated and there is left no trace of it, I myself shall enter into him and shall myself write my stories, my own life. Hearing my stories and teachings will create faith in devotees' hearts, and they will easily get self-realization and bliss. Let there be no insistence on establishing one's own view, no attempt to refute others' opinions, no discussion of pros and cons of any subject, significant and prophetic title. The word discussion put me in mind of my promise to explain the story of my getting the title of Himarpand, and now I begin to relate the same. I was on close friendly terms with Kaka Sahib Dikshit and Nana Sahib Chandorkar. They pressed me to go to the Shirdi and have Baba's darshan, and I promised them to do so. But something in the meanwhile turned up which prevented me from going to Shirdi. The son of the friend of mine at Lonavala fell ill. My friend tried all possible means, physical and spiritual, but the fever would not abate. At length he got his guru to sit by the bedside of his son, but this too was of no avail. Hearing this, I thought, what was the utility of the guru? If he could not save my friend's son, if the guru can't do anything for us, why should I go to the Shirdi at all? Thinking this way, I postponed my Shirdi trip. But the inevitable must happen. And this happened in my case also as follows. Mr. Nanak Sahib Chandorkar, who was a divisional officer, was going on tour to the Basin. From Thana, he came to the Dadar and was waiting for the train bound for Basin. In the meanwhile, a Bandra local turned up. He sat in it and came to the Bandra and sent for me and took me to our task for putting off my Shirdi trip. Nana's argument for the Shirdi trip was convincing and delightful, and so I decided to start for Shirdi the same night. I packed up my luggage and started for Shirdi. I planned to go to Dadar and from there to catch the train for Manmad, and so I booked myself for Dadar and sat in the train. While the train was to start, a Mohammedan came hastily to my compartment, seeing all my paraphernalia, asked me where I was bound to. I told him about my plan. He then suggested that I should go straight to the Porbandar and not to wait at Dadar, as the Manmad mail did not stop at Dadar. If this little miracle or Leela had not happened, I would not have reached Shirdi next day. I settled, settled, and many doubts would have assailed me, but that was not to be. As fortune favored me, I reached Shirdi the next day before 9 or 10 a.m. Mr. Babu Sahib Kaka Dikshit was waiting for me there. This was this was in the 1910 when there was only one place, that is Satiwara, for lodging pilgrim devotees. After alighting from the Tonga, I was anxious to have darshan when the great devotee Tata Sahib Nulkar returned from the masjid and said that the Sai Baba was at the corner of the Wada and that I should first get the preliminary darshan and then, after bath, see him in the leisure. Hearing this, I ran and prostrated before Baba, and my joy knew no bounds. I found more than what Baba Chandorkar had told me. All my senses were satisfied, and I forgot my thirst, hunger. The moment I touched Sai Baba's feet, I began a new lease of life. I felt myself much obliged to those who have spurred and helped me to get the darshan. I consider them as my real relatives, and I cannot repay the debt. I only remember them and prostrate him mentally before them. I peculiarity of Sai Baba's darshan as I found it is that by his darshan our thoughts are changed. The force of the previous actions is abated and gradually non-attachment or dispassion towards worldly objects grows up, and it is by merit of actions in many past births that such darshan is got. If only you see Sai Baba, all the world becomes or assumes the form of Sai Baba. Hot discussion. On the first day of my arrival in Shuri, there was a discussion between me and Balasaheb Bhati regarding the necessity of Guru. I contended, why should we lose our freedom and submit to others? When we have to do our duty, why Guru is necessary? One must try his best and save himself. What can the Guru do to man? What does? Who does? Nothing but sleeps indolently. Thus I pleaded free will while Mr. Bhate took up the other side, destiny, and said, whatever is bound to happen must happen. Even great men have failed. Man proposes one way, but God disposes the other way. Brush aside your cleverness, pride, or egoism won't help you. This discussion, with all its pros and cons, went on for an hour or so, and as usual, no conclusion was arrived at. Who had to stop the discussion ultimately, as we were exhausted? The net result of this was that I lost my peace of mind and found that unless there is strong body consciousness and egoism, there would be no discussion. In other words, it is egoism which breeds discussion. Then, when we went to the masjid with others, Baba asked Kaka Sahib Dikshit the following: what was the going on in the Sateswara? What was the discussion about? And staring at me. Baba further added, what did his Himarpan say? Hearing these words, I was more surprised. The masjid was at a considerable distance from the Satewara, where I was staying and where the discussion was going on. How could Baba know our discussion unless he is the omniscient and the inner ruler of all of us? I began to think why Sai Baba should call me by the name Himarpant. This word is a distorted form of Himadripant. This Himadripant was a well-known minister of the kings Mahadev and the Ramdev of Devgiri and the Yadav dynasty. He was a very learned, good natured, and the author of works such as the Chaturvarga, Chintamani, dealing with the spiritual subjects, and the Raj Prashasti. He invented and started new methods of accounts and was originator of the Modi Marathi shorthand script. But I was quite the opposite and the ignoramus of the manicure intellect. So I could not understand why the name or title was conferred upon me. But thinking seriously upon it, I thought that the title was that of destroy my ego. So I should always remain meek and humble. It was also a compliment paid to me for the cleverness in the discussion. Looking into the history, we think that Baba's words calling Mr. Dabholkar by name Himarpant was significant and prophetic, as we find that he looked after the management of Science and San very intelligently, kept all the accounts nicely, and was also the author of the such a good work, Sai Satcharitra, which deals with such an important and spiritual subjects as dhyana, bhakti, dispassion, self-surrender, and the self-realization. About the necessity of a guru. Himarpant has left no note, no memo about the Baba said regarding this subject. But Kaka Sahib Dikshit has published his notes regarding this matter. Next day, after Himarpant's meeting with Sai Baba, Kaka Sahib went to Baba and said, Baba, where to go? Baba said, high up. Then the man said, where is the way? Baba said, there are many ways leading there. There is one way from here, Shirdi also. The way is difficult. There are the tigers and wolves in the jungle on that way. I, Kakasahib asked, but Baba, what if we take a guide with us? Baba answered, then there is no difficulty. The guide will take you the straight to your destination, avoiding wolves, tigers, and the ditches, etc. on the way. If there is no guide, there is a danger of your being lost in the jungles or falling into ditches. Mr. Dabholkar was present on the occasion and he thought that this was the answer Baba gave to the question whether Guru was a necessity by Sai Leela, volume number 1, page number 5, page 47, and thereupon took the hint that no discussion whether man is free or bound is of no use in the spiritual matters, but on the contrary, real Paramatma is possible only as a result of the teachings of the Guru, and is illustrated in this chapter of the original work in the instances of great avatars like Rama and Krishna, who had to submit themselves to the Gurus Vasishta and Sandipani respectively, forgetting self-realization, and that the only virtues necessary for this progress are faith and patience. While Sai Satchitra, chapter 2, 1991 to 1992. Bo to Sri Sai, peace be to all. Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj ki jai. Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sai Karnananda Maharaj ki jai. Sri Sachidananda Jagat Guru Bal Yugraj Sai Narayan Maharaj ki jai. Sai Lilavati Mata ki jai.